m. If we're looking at a graph, we can count slope as rise over run. If we're given two ordered pairs, we can find it by doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we talked about slope. We talked about y-intercept. What is a y-intercept? Yes, exactly. Where the line intersects the y-axis. And we talked about graphing those. If the line is increasing, what kind of slope does it have? Okay, if it is decreasing, your slope is negative. What kind of line has a slope like this? It's a 0, 1 slope, a horizontal line. And a vertical line slope is undefined. Alright, what we're talking about today continues with lines, but we're looking at x and y intercepts. So we've already seen the intercept with y equals mx plus b. B is our y-intercept. X-intercept is where it hits the x-axis. So we need to be able to find both of those when we look at the equation of a line. If I'm looking at this one, my x-intercept is right here. What's that point? If I asked you to write it as an ordered pair, what would that be? It hits the x-axis at 8. What's your y value of that ordered pair? 0. Okay, the y-intercept of this line. Where does this line hit the y-axis? 8. But if I wrote that point, what's that ordered pair going to be? The x is 0 and the y is 8. So when we're looking at these ordered pairs, in the x-intercept, it's where it hits the x-axis. So your y turns out to be 0. And in a y-intercept, the x turns out to be 0. So we can use that fact to quickly find x and y intercepts. If I want the x-intercept, we let our y value be 0. Okay, if we want a y-intercept, then our x value will be 0. So in finding an intercept, the opposite variable is 0. So for example, if I asked you to find the x and y intercept of this equation, find the x-intercept, y equals 0. So I replace my y with a 0. And we solve this. What would we have to do to solve it?
Subtract.
Subtract over the 6. Divide by 3. If I want that as an ordered pair, x is -2. What was y? No. 0. To find that one, we start out by making our y 0. So when you're writing the ordered pair, one of them will always be 0. You're telling me the y-intercept? You're a step ahead. So if I want the y-intercept, you might just be able to look at this and tell me, because we've graphed some lines, so we know a little bit about it. If you solved it using this method, this says if you want a y-intercept, that's where it hits the y-axis, so x has to be 0. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 6 is 6.
Hi, this is Hayden. Nice to meet you. Your class.
Okay. Welcome. Come on in. Thank you. You're welcome. times 0 plus 6 is 6. So if I wanted that one as an ordered pair is always x then y. What was my x value? 0. And my y was 6. So I got my x and my y-intercept. 2 separate points. Okay, x-intercept, your y is 0. Y-intercept, your x is 0. Is that okay? Let's try another one. So, x-intercept, how do we find it? Oh, come on. I know, it's not even Monday. It's Tuesday morning. Everybody should be with it. How do I find my x-intercept?
Make the y 0.
So, if I replace that with 0, I have 0 equals negative x plus 5. If I'm trying to solve for x, would it be easier to move over my 5 or my x right now?
Your x.
Probably my x. I can just add x over. I mean, you could do it the other way. It wouldn't matter. 0 plus x is x equals 5. So if I ask for an ordered pair, x is 5, what did we use for y? 0. So to find a y-intercept, how do we find the y-intercept?
Make the x 0.
So y equals the opposite of 0 plus 5. What's the opposite of 0? Still 0, right? It's nothing.
Yeah.
Plus 5 is just 5. What would that ordered pair be?
0, 5.
X was 0 and y is 5. Alright. We are going to go down to example 3 next. So, x-intercept, if we're hitting the x-axis, that means y is 0. How do you guys want to solve that? So 8 equals 1/2 x. How can I get rid of that 1/2?
Divide by 1/2.
Divide by 1/2 if you are using a calculator. Okay, little warning here. If you are going to put divided by 1/2 in parentheses, or on your calculator, you have to put 1/2 in parentheses. So if you're going to type in 8 divided by, then do parentheses, 1/2 if you type that in. And what does that give you?
No.
What'd you get? 16. So if you're dividing by a fraction, put it in parentheses. So my x is 16.
Half of 8 is 4, so I just assume it's okay.
That's 8 times 1/2. But divided, different.
Yeah, well, not trivial, okay, leave it alone.
So y-intercept, that's when x is 0. So 1/2 times, oh, did I switch problems? I said we were doing 3 and then I worked number 2, didn't I?
It's fine.
Oh well, same thing.
I'm sure.
1/2 times 0 is 0, minus 8 is negative 8. So what would my ordered pair be? 0, negative 8. Okay, I want to go, I'm going to flip our notes over and look at problem 5. This time I'm actually going to do the problem I said I'm going to do. Okay, these are written differently. The previous ones were in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. These are standard form, ax plus by equals c. But for what we're doing, it doesn't matter what form it's in. To find an x-intercept, we do the same thing every time, no matter what our line looks like. We plug in a 0 for our y. 2 times 0 is 0, so we just get 3x equals 12.
Oh, wait, I did the wrong one.
Divide by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So ordered pair, x is 4, y is 0. Y-intercept, same thing but opposite variable. The x is 0. 3 times 0 is 0, so we have a negative 2y equals 12. Divided by negative 2, and y is negative 6. So y-intercept, x is always 0, so we get 0, negative 6. I want you guys to do problem 6. X-intercept, that means y is 0. Okay, anything times 0 is 0, so 8x equals negative 10. Divide by 8. If you struggle with those fractions in lowest term, you can use your calculator to help you. If you don't know how to do that on your calculator, make sure you ask. So we get negative 5/4. So the ordered pair, x is negative 5/4, y is 0. Did you figure out how to do it on that one?
Yeah, you gotta press the FG with the 2 arrows.
Yeah.
Or click second, or you get your decimal and you click second, that gives you your decimal.
Which technically is your decimal, it's not wrong. It's a fraction. Am I out? You can run down to the office and get a box if you want. Okay, y-intercept, our x's are 0. So we get 10y equals negative 10. Divide, and that's negative 1. So x is 0, y is negative 1. All right. I want to do just a couple more. And this time I'm going to add one more step. We're not only going to find these, we are going to use them to graph. So let's look at problem 8. If I ask for the x-intercept, we make our y 0. So that's negative 4x equals 20. Divide our negative 4. 20 divided by negative 4 is negative 5. We know that as a point would be negative 5, 0, or you can think I hit the x-axis at negative 5. So we can put a dot there. And we know it only takes 2 points to graph a line, so here's one of them. So this line was written in standard form. It wouldn't have been easy just to graph it from the beginning. We'd have to change it to y equals mx plus b, but we could use those intercepts. Y-intercept, if you make your x 0. We get 5y equals 20. Divide by 5 and y is your ruler. Does everybody have one? So you connect your points to get a line. Does everyone have a ruler?
Yeah.
Alright, so the only step this is adding is graphing that line. We've been doing graphing, putting things in y equals mx plus b form. This just gives us one more option. I want you guys to do number 10. If we do okay, then I'm done. So x-intercept, your y is 0. So that means 2x equals 7. Divide by 2, and that's 7 halves, or if you said 3.5, that's fine. I want you to realize, when we write ordered pairs, these are two separate points. So it is two ordered pairs. This one, the x is 7 halves, the y is 0. Or if you said 3.5. So we're just going to estimate it as best we can in between 3 and 4. Y-intercept, if your x is 0, you get negative y equals 7. How do you get rid of that negative? So we get negative 7. If I ask for that order pair, the x was 0, the y was negative 7. And then you have 2 points, so you use your ruler to make a nice line between them. All right, so I am going to give you a handout now to practice. I think I want to start with only 1 through 12.